Okay, so I came back and I'm actually wearing a different sweater. This is my special sale, Zara sale, cotton acrylic, gorgeous green sweater that I just get millions of compliments on. I really love it. It's very short though. It's a crop that like lets my stomach stick out, or my t-shirt. I'm wearing a red t-shirt underneath it and it does stick out. But it's really warm and it's really fun, and I think it'll be very nice over like a dress or a skirt or something. Would probably go down very well in India, but can't take any more sweaters. So where was I? I was showing you all those things, and then I got a phone call to say that some of my crates that I had left behind for somebody to bring were being delivered. So 2 crates got delivered with some of my personal belongings in it. And mostly in there was some sweaters, a couple of shawls, beautiful bed cover, some winter stuff. But one of the things I just pulled immediately out the packet, because I just so love this garment, is a kangaroo loafer. I don't know if you know the kangaroo loafer, once again from Stephen West. It's a fabulous like tunic. It's I guess what you'd call a modular knit. You knit the front panel, which then goes down like that, and then you pick up stitches for the side panel, so you have these 2 absolutely gorgeous deep pockets, and then you knit your way up to the neck, and then there's this gorgeous insert on the shoulder, and then you turn around and you knit the back downwards, picking up stitches from the front pieces here, which go straight over the back. So that's the back. It just goes on and on. Mine's very long. Mine is made with very, very rustic yarn, 3 strands of it at least. I'm not exactly sure if the original pattern had this piece down the side. Possibly it did, but I think I put it there because I wanted it to be very big. So I kind of blended it in with the color of the armhole rib. I could be wrong. Am I wrong? I think I'm wrong. I don't know what I think. But anyway, it has this lovely stripe that goes down. But the main thing about this pattern is that, I mean, it has these pockets, which are just the best thing in the world. You know, you walk around with your big warm coziness on and your hands deep in your pockets, because your pockets are very deep. And I made this in the mountain in the Himalayas with quite a lot of Himalayan hand-spun wool. Some of it's quite rough, some of it I spun, and some of it a very special friend who is a guru, not of spinning, but a spiritual guru, also spun. This is all natural sheep colors on the back. It's just such a beautiful thing, this. It's like, and it grows. It's getting longer and longer. It's kind of, yeah. Can you see? You can't really see. It's about 10 centimeters above my knee. And it's my big cozy. It's like my big teddy bear. It's so gorgeous. So I found that came in the crate. Oh, and I always keep with my wool or my knitwear, whatever I'm storing, I store it with beautiful soaps normally. Either soaps that are handmade by friends of mine, or in this case, I stored it with some beautiful Mysore sandalwood soap, you know, the famous one. I stored it with that. So it smells very Indian. It smells really lovely and sandalwoodish. I'm once again on the shawl that I started with last time, but And now I'm on a different one, but I really want to show you this. I am repurposing some yarn at the moment on 2 projects, quite interesting. First of all, the first one is the one I'm now knitting a shawl. I had bought this yarn specifically from I Love Yarn in George, South Africa, a very beautiful yarn store. I discovered that they had this merino wool that was not superwash, and I got quite excited about it. So I checked it out, and they had some of it on sale because it was odd weights and there were dye problems and things like that. But I thought, you know what, I can just over dye it and just get it. So I got a lot. I got some on the special price, then I ordered some of their special colors, and this is the color I'm knitting with at the moment. It's like a goldy brown. It's a sport weight. It just says 100% pure wool, sport weight, Garden of Eden limited range, I Love Yarn. So it's quite rustic. It's not at all scratchy, but it feels like real wool, you know, like sits together. So I decided I was going to make David van der Kamp's Dunes of Latvia sweater, which I just love from the minute I've seen it. But I'm not sure if it's maybe more the way he looks in his gorgeous knitwear that makes me love them. But nevertheless, I started it. And I also knew that when I started it, I didn't really have enough yarn, and I had some colors that I would have to over dye, but I just got on with it. And I was quite happy with where I was going with it. There are a series of stripes separated by Latvian braids, which are a little bit tedious because you have to keep on swapping the thread over and over and over. And the best thing to do is to try and judge how long a thread you need to do an actual braid and cut one of your strands. But when you're unpracticed and you're knitting a circular jersey, it's unknown. Anyway, I knitted about 18 or 20 centimeters. And I decided that actually I didn't like the braids all over the place because they stood up. And the second thing was that actually I had like enough sweaters. I suddenly have like loads of sweaters. I mean, I bought a shop sweater, can you believe it? So I put that on hold for a while. And then I realized that actually I was not going to do it. It was rows and rows and rows of lots of braids. It was gorgeous. It was a long sweater. It was going to be a big oversized long sweater that I didn't need and that I couldn't take with me to India because it was too big. So I frogged it. So I was left with all this gorgeous non-superwash, really lovely, beautiful feeling sport to light DK weight yarn, quite a lot of it. So I was at Lenka's house in Robertson, and we decided to have a little shopping feast on the internet and buy some patterns. It's one of the things we love to do when we get together. So we bought a few patterns, we bought some socks, and we bought this shawl from Stephen West. And there was one other thing. What was the other thing? What was that other thing? Socks and the shawl and I think she bought a beautiful V-neck top. So I got this pattern, which is a very old pattern, it would seem, of Stephen's, and I just happened to see somebody posted it on Instagram a while back, and I thought, wow, that looks pretty similar to the Vertices Unite, but it's actually called the Garter Breeze, and it's better than the Vertices Unite because you don't actually have to pick up any stitches. It looks like a modular knit, but basically it's just short rows, which, you know, kind of go this way, and then you kind of go up without the short rows, and then you go the other way with more short rows and different colors and different colors. So it's actually all knitted in one piece, but that's how it looks. So it looks like it's all modular, and it is. It's beautiful. And I think it's quite old, if I remember correctly, from 2014. Yes, there's a young looking Stephen West modeling it. So that's what I'm knitting with. It's knitted, it's done for DK, and I actually do not hardly own any DK. I'm not a DK knitter. I knit mostly shawls, and I like to knit with fingering weight and mohair or lace and mohair. So I had this slightly thicker yarn, and the colors are kind of quite royal, I think, and quite suited to the shawl. So, oh, you know what? I'm doing short rows, so I don't really know how it's there. Behind the box of treasures, of course, is the Cecil, which when I work on it, it actually does move along. But it is very long and it's gorgeous. I love it for that. But I'm past the halfway mark. All my beautiful things are falling out. I'm past the halfway mark, so now the stitches get less. So that will happen very fast. And then I have another one planned out of a lace weight. But I'm kind of savoring just having this one lying on the back of the couch because it's really so gorgeous. And I'm enjoying the interaction of my green Zara sweater with the colors on the back of the couch. The other thing I did while the day after I arrived here, because I just kind of had that sort of nestling feeling. I basically arrived and it was a freezing cold day. I made a fire in the fireplace. I worked out how everything worked in the house because there was nobody to show me. And I immediately cooked a pot of vegetable soup. Once the fire was really going, and it's a lovely, beautiful metal closed-in fireplace, I took the pot of soup and I put it on top of the fireplace to cook. Then I sat down and I decided where I was going to have my knitting spot. Anyway, my knitting spot has since spread all over the house. Wherever I am is a knitting spot. But what I also did is I discovered, I was about to do some spinning and I discovered that I had these 2 balls of plaid hand spun, so I dyed them. And they look very pinky orange there, but they're actually quite dark. They're quite dark. They really are like a deep coral, very deep coral. So I dyed them, and that's 100 grams. And then I dyed this absolutely gorgeous mohair and merino 100 gram skein, sort of in the leftover dye, as it were, of these two, because these are very saturated. So the color I used was called Scarlet, but I had added some black in it, believe it or not. And oh, it's like just the most delicious burnt orange you've ever seen. And again, it's not showing the color. It's like looks orange here. It's like so red. It's divine. Anyway, that was my filler because I finished my row. So let me try my best to show you this shawl. There it is. So you start with that bright yellow and charcoal, and you knit your way across the bottom with short rows, and then I went into this sort of burgundy section, which is quite large, it's very variegated, so you can see it's got its own pattern, so I didn't stripe it. Then when I saw I was running out of it, I went back to striping it a bit with the charcoal. And then when I actually ran out of the burgundy, I took a darker mustard and I added that into the grey. And now I'm on the absolutely very last piece. The very last piece, hard to show, it's quite big but doesn't look that big here, which is going to be mustard, all the mustard, which is it's quite variegated. It's got some brown bits in it. It's very nice. I like these colors. They're sort of like regal-ish colors, I would say. And the definition of the stitches is beautiful and the feel of it is absolutely lovely. So yeah, now it's just a matter of doing the garter short rows until I get enough to write the end. And then I am going to use I've kept a whole 50 gram ball because I don't know how much it'll really take, of this lovely dark charcoal. And that is what I'm going to do around the border. I also have quite a bright yellow, but I don't think I'm going to do the bright yellow around the border. I'm not quite sure. I think that's going to be the winner, but I might need to add some of the yellow into the gold if I see that I'm running out, because these panels are actually very big. So that is that. That's the one recycled shawl. So the russamine, which you saw a little bit of the other day, and is again also very hard for me to show you right now, looks like this. Can you see how diaphanous it is? It's very, very see-through. When I block, it's going to be gorgeous. So it's this traditional triangular shawl, and it's got these wonderful, they remind me of birds flying, sections of short rows that you keep adding in at various intervals. And these are brushed alpaca. I'm sure you can actually see the fluff in this picture. So I'm loving that. I'm very happy with that choice. And sometimes you have to make it and unmake it to make it. So there we go. So those are my main things at the moment. I have got 2 pairs of socks that I'm sort of playing around with, trying to get them finished. Because I've got a new Stephen West sock pattern as well, which I'd like to do. But today I'm knitting on the Garter Breeze. And next to me here, which I thought I'd just quickly give you a little show and tell. I never do this really, but I've been sort of collecting yarns. And for the anthology throw, the round one, it was actually done with an advent of 20-gram minis. So I was very lucky enough to be in Cape Town on the day that Karoo Moon was having their pop-up store at Big Tree, and I got a whole load of their absolutely to die for minis. So these are all going to go in the anthology round throw. There's still more in here somewhere. Look at this lovely violet, absolutely stunning. These are all 10 grams, but I've got 2 of most of them, and you only need a couple of rows of that color. And then I bought this on a total whim, and I'm sure you can understand why. It's absolutely glorious. Not only does it look glorious, but it is fingering. It's 15% kid mohair, 15% mulberry silk, and 50% merino, 20% polyamide. It's a dream. It's an absolute soft, gorgeous dream. So I've got 150 grams, which is quite a lot. It's I think there is 100 meters. How many meters are there on each one? There is 200 meters on each one of these. So this is 600 meters. I thought I could pair it with a cream or a white and do something, a stripy something. So it won't be going with any of the rest of this, although I mean, but I wouldn't do that. I mean, this is called Sock Weight with a Twist of Color. Also again, Karoo Moon. It's Cloudy Moon. It's Soda Pop Deluxe. Okay. I did not go there to buy this, all right. But anyway, this is what I did. I had a budget and I stuck to it. Why? Because previously, a few weeks back, I had another big spend where I got all these gorgeous, delightful colors, and I've even caked some of them up from various South African dyers and some plans too. And I'm planning a whole lot of yummy ice cream spring shawls, one of which I think is going to be, can you see that? It's terrible, showing you something in plastic. It's going to be a big what's it called? Look at this lovely color. I can tell you what it is. Oh no, I can't. Can I? I'll see if I've got the label. And this is like a pale, pale, pale oyster pink. This is going to be what's it called? And I've still got this lovely skein that was gifted to me by my friend up in Springbok. And what did I think? I thought it might go very well with this absolutely outrageous lime green, wat sê jy Suzette? Kyk hoe mooi is dit. So, I mean, I've got endless colors, endless colors, and I don't need any more yarn. So I sincerely hope that no more yarn comes my way for a while. I have an order that's in from Norway, but that I've already accounted for, and that will come later in August. And then I think I might have mentioned that I'm getting some Sadness Gone, Lina, I don't know why I always want to say Fina, Lina, Line, which means linen, but quite frankly it's got 15% linen, but I believe it's a totally fabulous yarn, totally fabulous. So I'm going to make the Helix top from Jessie May. I've got 2 balls of silk in my hand, of mulberry silk. I'm squeezing them. Can you hear them going squeak? It's like a trick. All right. I think that's all we're going to do for now. So that's part 2. I guess I should tell you a little bit of nomadness, seeing as this is a chat with a nomad. I'll be here doing my podcasts for the next 2 months, and there'll probably be a lot of them because that's all I'm doing is knitting and thinking. I've got a very exciting thing up my sleeve that I just suddenly put out on my Instagram story today. So if you're interested on the tribal bling stories, is some interesting thing that may happen. I hope it does. It will. So I've got plans, which is very unlike me, but they're all good plans, and I feel like I'm in a place to breathe and think ahead and just appreciate and enjoy and connect, and so that's what I'm doing. So I'll be connecting a lot more with everybody. Okay, thanks again. This is I'll just put this out as soon as the first one's downloaded. You're going to get a double whammy this week, and so enjoy it. Take care then. Happy crafting. Bye.